Welcome back to our R programming series. In this video, we'll tackle a crucial step in any data analysis workflow, importing data into R and exporting your result out of R. So being able to get your data in and out is fundamental to doing any practical work. So this video covers the essential skills of importing data into R and exporting the processed results. We'll start by explaining the concept of the working directory and it's how to set it using set working directory function, which dictates where arrow looks for and saves file. We then demonstrate how to read common data formats, focusing on read.csv function for comma separated value files, which are commonly frequently used in data exchange. We show how to inspect imported data using the head function and then the string function. Next, we'll move to exporting data, showing how to save your processed data frames into CSV files using write.csv function, emphasizing the rows.names, assigning the perimeter of false argument to prevent unwanted row numbering. Finally, we introduce save function and load functions, which allows you to save and load R objects like data frame or variables into a binary R specific format, which ends with .r data. Perfect for preserving your R session. Okay, so we switch to our R Studio here. So here for this video, we will start with importing and exporting data, getting data in and out of R. So setting your working directory. So the working directory, you can see, my working directory here. Is the default location arrow looks for files to import and save files for export. It's good practice to set it up. So in order to know your working directory, this is to get your current working directory, this is the function you use to do that. So you run this, and this is my current working directory. When you run this, it will tell you what's your current working directory. Now, sometimes you want to set it in a different directly, set working directory. That's very important if you want to change the path to a folder on your computer. So to do the set working directory, you use this function and you outline the path to the folder you want to save it at, right? So this is sort of the example we have here. Okay, next, let's create a dummy CSV file for demonstration purposes. Um, Most files you'll be importing is most often CSV, or it can be Excel as well, right? So this code block will create a file we'll name it sample dividend data.csv. So we assign it this variable and then we run this. So we're gonna create a data frame that has a column, features date, ticker, dividend per share, and then string as factors. We're gonna set it as false. So what this does, it prevents automatic conversion of character vectors into factors when creating data frames. Okay, so we run this, right? We create a data frame. Now we're gonna write it as CSV into this CSV file, and then we set the row names as false, right? We run this, and then we print this, and then you can open the file with a text editor or spreadsheet program to see its content. So if I go to my, let's see, right? So as you can see here, just a moment here. As you can see here, we've created a, this is a working directory, so we created a sample file here, right? The CSV file. Okay, so for the part two now, we're gonna import that data into R. Um, so here you are reading your CSV. That's the most common for tabular data. You're gonna use this function read.csv. That's for comma separated values. There is other functions if you want to do Excel or other file formats. And then we're gonna set the header true, which means the first row indicates the column name, contains the column name, right? And then again we set our string as false, preventing the so this will prevent the converting of text to factors, right? Okay, so we run this. So now we're importing it. When we import it, we assign the file to this variable. We run this and then we print it. So this is our data that we created now that we imported. If I go back and we can actually see it here, let me sort it. So it's here actually. So view, if you view it, this is your CSV file. You can view it from here, or again, you can go back to your folder here. Um, you can go back to your folder here, open this. Okay, and yeah, so this is the file we just imported, right? We created it and then we imported it, right? Okay, so string will show you a summary of your data frame. So we have four observations of three variables. Date is in character, so obviously when you start processing it, you want to convert it to date data type. But for now, we imported it as character. Ticker is character, and then the data type for your data dividend per share feature is numeric. You want to check the header. So header gives you, I believe, the first 6 rows in R, I believe first 5 in Python. So when you do, when you use the header function, it will give you the first 6 rows in R, I believe. Okay, obviously we're not gonna do this, but yeah, if you want to read Excel, you need to install this package, and then this is the function that you install this package as this, and then this you load this library again, the library name always the same with the package name, and then you can read your Excel file using this function, right? And it's gonna load it um, as well. Okay, next one, exporting data from R. So here we're gonna write to CSV using the write.csv function. We're gonna set the row.name as false. So this will avoid writing row numbers as a column in your CSV. Okay, so let's process our dividend data and then save it. So we reassign this dividend data to this new variable name, which is process underscore dividend name. Um, then we add this, let's see, I should have this here. View. Okay, so we have 3 columns here, right? Okay, so we're gonna add a new column called yield. So it will be a calculated column. So yield is basically your dividend per share divided by the dividend by share divided by this number. Yeah, the share price. So this is just a calculated field. So we run this and then we write it to this name and save it as this. So this is how it's gonna be saved. Assign row name as false. Run this. Um, then print our print saved saved just print this statement saying we saved it to this, right? And then you go back. If I refresh, where is my refresh button here? You can see my processed the new CSV that was saved as process underscore dividend analysis file. And because if I go here and run this, right, so you can see the new calculated field that we just calculated. It wrote it into the file and saved it accordingly. And there's other one, you can save arrow objects for later um, arrow sessions. You use the save function to save it, to save the arrow object, and file can only be opened in R. So here we use the save function here. We're gonna save it, name it as this with this extension, right? You run and then you print stating that you saved it as this. And again, if we go back to, if we refresh this and go back to it, you can see we saved our arrow object here, right? And then if you want to load it, which I'm not gonna do here, you just run this, on comment this. So I commented it, you uncomment it, load it, and it will load back into this project. And you can use this function, print ls function, to check the objects are now in your environment. So what's time here? Yeah, so being able to import and export data is fundamental to any practical data analysis in R. Um, you know, you have now learned how to get your data in and out. Used a lot of this in my book, so that's what I'm going through here. Um, and it will, if you're able to grab my book, it will show you the advanced technique that we use for data loading, including working with APIs to fetch live financial data, mainly from Yahoo Finance. So next up, we'll explore essential functions and packages that expand our capabilities. Okay, thank you, and see you in the next video.